Hello, everyone. I'm FIDE Master Corey Russell. The following features an interesting game where I had, at one point, a nice combination to win a pawn, and another point, I had an under promotion combination that would have won a rook. Unfortunately, I missed both and ended up being a draw. But let's see what these combinations were. And the bishops themselves are actually quite interesting as well. So, in any case, let's get to the game. I am black in this game. Ready opening. Although, actually, it transposes to d4 very quickly. Let's see. This is not the Verisov. What's funny is Fritz says queen take f6, but I knew that if he queen f6, he was going to play queen d4 and try to trade. I knew that was his idea. So, objectively, queen f6 is the move. But I wanted an imbalance. That was the purpose of it. Of course, here, c take is the move. I don't know why you put knight take. He's giving me a center, but I didn't have to have a center. So I could see no reason not to kick him, so I did. In fact, Fritz even says black has an edge, interesting enough. So, in this kind of position, you want to get the knights out, because the bishops are still in the open air where they should go. So I knew pressure would come on d5, like soon, and not to mention, I probably want to stop a c4, so I knew bishop belonged on e6. Anywhere else I get kicked anyways, and of course d7 just takes my pawn, so it really is the only square for that bishop. Here, where to put the bishop, right? You can go e7, g6, e5, g7, h6. In this position, to me, it seemed like the king was pretty safe, even without the bishop, because he doesn't have his bishop. That's mainly why. I said, well, the most aggressive square is c5, so let's put it there. He's running e4. Let's put f5. Put the stop on that. The only drawback is f5 could be a target, depending on how it works out. And Fritz is a real comedian sometimes. They go, I play bishop d6 because white was threatening b5 and pick off my pawn if I don't. And Fritz goes, exclamation mark. I'm like, Fritz, if I don't play this, I lose my pawn. I mean, come on, I got to protect the pawn. So, anyways, Fritz, every now and then, is pretty funny. So he wants to stop d4, which is probably a good idea, actually, to keep an eye on that. So I do my own attack, castles. He kicks it. Okay, I hear you. Attack with the pawn, he defends. And here, Fritz pointed out a good point. I should have played b6. Because then, that would allow... Then, if white attacks f5, I can play queen f6, reinforcing it, and then and then I could play like maybe rook c7, rook a8, and then knight c4, and white's and black's doing great. So that's what I should have done objectively. In fact, now I think I'm going to make white better actually at this point. So the reason for f6 was I was planning rook here, but then I realized, whoops, can't do that because my knight's thinking. Also, my rook can come to defend the king too. The problem is, which white immediately locks on, is that f5 is a weakness. In fact, at this point I said, I may have to sack that pawn possibly, depending on what happens. In fact, Fritz now says, ooh, white is equal. Now Fritz says white is a slight plus. So, well, the only active way is here, so I did this. And then white cruelly plays here, tripling this on f5. Oh, well, since that's lost anyway, let's take this one. I think bishop f5 the strongest move, but he played knight take. So here, I have to play queen d7, and it's just equal. this was too dangerous because and I realized it was, after I played it, it was a mistake because if he just does the check, he has a clear advantage. He attacked my queen, which is not good because it forces me to want to go anyways. And now he can't move the knight. We can move the knight, but then there would be pressure on h3. So it's kind of a mixed bag. And Fritz, once again, the comedian, I go king h8, it's exclamation mark. I'm like, come on, Fritz, it's the only move. There's a rook on b1, which could go to b7. So, of course, I need to not make that a check, obviously. Here I had to trap, and white correctly avoided the trap. The trap was, if rook take pawn, f5, and which stops the mate on h7, by the way. He was threatening mate in 1. Stops the mate, and traps his knight, which would give black an advantage. Now, white does have a lot of pawns, so I mean, it's not necessarily like an easy win or anything, but at the same time, for sure, black has the better chances of winning. Is the point of what I'm saying. So, anyways, Ed sees the trap and instead correctly saves his knight. And Fritz, the comedian, once again, played b6 because protect the pawn. So the other way, I could have done like this, right? Rook f7. But the principle is, as much as possible, protect your pawns with your pawns so your pieces are free to attack. So b6, the a7 pawn carries the b pawn, and then now my rook is free to attack, which I should have, actually. Here, I missed my chance. Here, I could have won a pawn, which is so obvious now, but somehow I missed it. I could have played rook here, boom, and I win a pawn, right? I mean, yeah, I win a pawn. Because you can't do this, because I'll take, and you lose exchange, because it's queen beyond pre. So that's what I should have done. I'm not sure why I didn't see that. Oh, you know what? I was afraid of my bishop felt loose, but actually it was safe. It felt loose, but it was safe. So I should have played rook over objectively. But missed that chance, unfortunately. So he's trying to be tricky. If here, and he trades knight for bishop. Now that, the open lines, I think, favor white by a lot. I said, no way, man. I'm not doing that. So here, I'm putting indirect pressure on c3. Knight is still on pre, so he has to move it again. In fact, during the game, he even said, oh, how annoying. Now he has to move this guy again. So it's kind of embarrassing his move, basically. So I had illusions of like a possible attack with h5, h4, h3, queen d2. But white, the problem is white does have defensive resources. Attacks the d pawn. Only way to defend it really is rook over. So here, Fritz pointed out, if I just do queen check, and this is fourth, this position is clear. Black is clearly better. The rook d1 is not that big a problem, but you just trade and go rook a4, and then white's on the defensive. And then you get your king. I get my king in the game. And it's knight. It's nowhere to go, basically. And if he does go, then the c pawn could be weak. So I saw that idea, but for some reason I didn't realize. Oh, I even have rook d3. Ooh. Oh, you know what? I missed that. Yeah, rook over, rook d3. That would have been really strong. Oh. Oh, you know, if I seen rook d3, that would have changed everything. Oh, okay. Yes. This is obviously what I should have done. Okay, whoops. So, Fritz is right. I should have played it. And instead, I gave him strong counterplay. So this is definitely, I mean, I was getting a little bit low on time. I still have a lot of time, but that was not the right move. Check. Well, the problem is he has a really strong move, which I saw, but not in time, though. So the threat is h4 or h3. Unfortunately, he has a nice defense. And here realize, oh wait a minute, I can't play h4. So just check and take. I'm like, oh, that's terrible. I'm like, oh no. And so then I realized h5 was not the right idea, but unfortunately, I'm here, whether I like it or not. So there is no king attack. And he's hitting d4. I said, well, let's give my rook non-arm pre, although it didn't really help. Fritz says rook bd1, and white has a clear advantage. I agree. White was getting a little time, though, however. So he tried this. And what's cool is I played h4. So yeah, go ahead and take the rook. He takes the rook, h3, and he's finished. Well, it's not finished, excuse me. It's just a draw. He goes here, check, and basically I have presidential check. And at this point, because this knight was just killing me, I would have been happy with presidential check. So my opponent wants to win, so he doesn't fall for that. Instead, he does a queen trade. Of course, now my rook's hanging, so I need to do something about my rook. So Fitch says rook b2 be a better way to go for white. Fitch thinks leaving the pawn hanging is actually better, interesting enough. And maybe that's because I got g2, probably why. Because check and rook g2. So I should have taken the pawn. So it's okay to leave the pawn hanging, but I thought maybe I should take, but Fritz is right. Rook take is sharper. Then, of course, I took this pawn. So basically, we trade pawns, essentially. So what Fritz criticizes this, what Fritz doesn't realize is white is low time. Also, I was getting so many pawns, I said, at the very least, should have guaranteed a draw because he has no pawns to win with, which, in fact, was what happened. So I think my decision was a very practical one with this time situation, and, of course, Fritz doesn't know that. And, of course, it's also as complicated, which, of course, is not what my opponent wants to see when he's low time. So objectively, it's not the best move. However, it was a very practical move in the situation based on the time situation. In fact, the opponent was actually down to, I think, about 2.5 minutes at this point. So the whole game. So this is not what my opponent wanted to see, and I figured he'd make a mistake, which he did. Unfortunately, I made a mistake too and missed my opportunity. But we're almost there. Let's see that opportunity. So in any case, Fritz criticizes it, but like I said, in this situation, I think it's a very practical. In fact, Fritz even says white's winning. But what I knew is white didn't have the time to do the win. Now, what's important to note here is white could have done rook bd1 and got a very strong king attack. Wait, it says I can go to check, king a6, e4, a very strong attack on the king. But white didn't see it. And I knew white was afraid of the rook g2 check. So sure enough, he did check, but then I think he no, he didn't do it yet. Excuse me. So first he goes here to cover the check. Oh, you know what? Give me just a second here. Oh, here it is. I put it over here. Gotcha. So, of course, I take the pawn. And now Fritz says, well, I need a slight plus. F2 is a strong threat. And here, in low time, white does what he thinks is a great combination. He goes, king take, and I check. And if I fought for that, sure, it's a great combination. Unfortunately, I have a counter combination. So check. And now Fritz pointed out a really beautiful combination, actually. Knight. Check. Fritz, the point is, if here, rook take check here, and this is mate. That's, and if he, and then if white takes it, if white just takes it, check, doesn't matter, king here. Now here, black's have exchange and a pawn with strong rooks. Should be, without a doubt, it should be a win for black. So that would have been a beautiful way to win the game. Unfortunately, I missed the under promotion. I did check and take, because basically I win a pawn. But it's not. It's going to be a difficult win. If it's a win, it's going to be a difficult one. It says king b5. Black has a slight plus. I'll put b5. So Fritz pointed out that in this position, if we keep the rooks on, I actually have a far superior chance of actually doing something with these pawns. And it's right. Because once the rooks are gone, his king and knight can defend, basically. So it pointed out rook a4 was the strongest move, and it's 100% correct. This would have given me a possible chance to win with the pawns. And I have nothing to lose, right? But white can't beat me. He has no pawns. So that's what I should have done. I was starting to get a little time myself, and I figured oh, no, actually, I think I played here first. Then a5. Checked. Several times in these moves, Fritz gets an exclamation mark, even though all these moves are actually quite obvious. So here I realized if he sacks for the a-pawn, it's just a draw. Again, if I go b4, he sacks for the b-pawn, it's also a draw because king in rook pawn endgames, if the king can get to the corner, it's a draw. Period. And so then he does a few more checks, and I realize it's just a draw. So I offer a draw, and it's a draw. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'll see you guys next time.